From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD Primetime Capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live. And boy, oh boy, today he's doing double duty for me this week. We're going to bring back in the man himself, the Don of Cape Cod, Mr. Jeff Dawson. How you doing, brother, on this beautiful Friday? How's everything going?
Everything's going well, Pops. The weekend's here. I was just on Twitter a second ago talking to someone on the MLB and, about where COVID is, how the clubhouses are going. He works hands-on for a MLB team, and he says it stinks right now. And we've talked off the air about it, but I'm blessed. I'm honored to be here twice this week doing double duty, as you said, but I'd rather be here than sitting on the couch or something. So I'm blessed to be here, Pops.
Right. It's so much better than sitting in somebody else's business in their little office with your 40 co-workers, and everybody's talking about it's Lorraine's birthday. Let's go and get cake. I don't even like Lorraine. What the hell? You know what I mean? Seriously. It's always funny to me. I say when you work these 9 to 5s, it's your birthday. Everybody's your friend that day. But why didn't you act like that 2 days ago when we needed to do the project on time and all this other good stuff? And, when you say, oh, you work too hard, or, oh, man, he's always up my case.
Those 9 to 5s are the worst. It's Friday. Right. Is everyone going down to Chili's for a drink? Right. Your check's already spent. It's direct deposited. You got the auto pay and half your bills. You got $38 left for the week, and 20 of it's got to go to gas. Right.
So, and then you're hitting up guys like me and Jeff. I borrowed $200 until Friday.
And Friday never comes.
Right. Friday never comes. All right, Jeff, let's go ahead and jump into it. First up, NBA finals have gotten tense. People didn't want to listen to us, Jeff, that this was no walk in the park for your new favorite team, the Phoenix Suns. This was no walk in the park for your boy Chris Paul, who has shown and really showed in the last 2 games that he's a choker. Yeah. Reggie Miller style. You feel what I'm saying? He chokes. It's just that simple. When he's on the biggest stage in the biggest moment, he overthinks the thing and he always messes up. And at some point, Chris Paul has to just breathe. You know what I mean? In these big games and big moments and all that good stuff. But a lot of people, he is a great player. But when it comes down to being a legendary player, he ain't got it yet. You know what I mean? It's not there yet. And this is a series to go ahead and get his legacy finally cemented. But at the same time, though, that was a hell of a game the other night. Devin Booker put on an absolute clinic, 42 points, but Devin Booker carried most of the load for them all night long. At one point, Devin Booker was the only guy with double-digit scoring. So this is something that they're not pointing out. The Bucks has stepped up their defense immensely, big time. Now they're making the Suns go one and done and all that good stuff. Even though Ayton did have almost 20 rebounds again, but I still think that Ayton needs to get more touches, and that means that Chris Paul needs to stop shooting so much. Jeff, in my opinion, I think that he needs to give up about 5 shots. Booker needs to give up about 5 shots and let Ayton get 10 of those, because his field goal percentage is over 80% literally every game. Why wouldn't you want to have a guy that's hovering around the rim who literally gets a mismatch every time, where he could get his 20 to 30 points that could actually put you over the top, with the 18 to 20 rebounds he's getting nightly. You know, I just don't. I just Phoenix doesn't get the finer and tuner things winning a championship. Jeff, what are your thoughts on that?
We talked Monday. We've talked a lot about this series. Okay, so when Phoenix was up 2-0, it's duck boats parade. The Suns in 4. Haven't seen him in a long, long time. I don't know where he is hiding right now. You know, Game 3, Booker on the bench for the whole fourth quarter. Game 4, CP3 falling down in the lane, dribbling it off his foot. Booker with 8 fouls. I mean, technically, and but what I took from that is if you take where the series is now, 2-2, going back to Phoenix, I was watching Giannis, who had an amazing game. But in that second half, he looked winded. He looked out of gas. He had times where he was just like trying to get to the block, and they had already put up a shot, and he's giving you one of these. So if you break it down this way, no Booker Game 3, then he bounces back Game 4. No CP3 Game 4. My assumption is this, is you're going to get a good Booker, a great CP3. You talked about Aiden and the 20 rebounds, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he only had 6 points. So my thought process is the world assumes that Phoenix is going to win Game 5, go back to the Bucks. Bucks win Game 6. The NBA gets their Game 7. Tip it up. Best team wins. I like the Bucks position. I still think that they can win Game 5. It's going to take a huge effort. I mean, Middleton was – where's the Middleton haters, Pops? I haven't seen them for a while either, you know. I mean, he was carrying them. You know, him and Giannis were a two-man wrecking crew. Drew Holiday thought it was a holiday and took the night off, man. He was atrocious, you know. So I plus 650, I'm still holding on. I can get an easy hedge for 2.5 units, Pops. I'm going to wait and see. Again, the line opened at 3.5 at one spot. It's 4s. I think the public's going to push it to 4.5. Vegas is saying initially 113, 109 Phoenix. That's what they're saying for Game 5 tomorrow night.
Well, I have to give much props to Middleton as well, too, because as I keep telling everybody, Chris Middleton plays a lot like Glenn Rice. Glenn Rice, when he was cooking, nobody could stop Glenn Rice. He's one of the better players in the NBA. Had one of the greatest quarters in All-Star history as well, too, on MJ's team. Stole MJ's MVP as well, too. So pretty much that comparison is huge in today's NBA because you don't have guys who can really shoot from everywhere as confidently as a guy like Middleton does, and as his game isn't perceived behind that 3-point line. It's a lot of different things that come with his bag of tricks. You know what I mean? He can pull up mid range, he can hit the floater, he can do this, he can do that. He has a very old school type of game, and it's working out very well for him. But they got a big effort from Brook Lopez. Every time Brook Lopez goes over double digits, the Bucks should really be in good position to win a game. And Giannis has been the most unstoppable player in this series when he goes straight to the bucket and plays off the ball and is moving without the ball. But the one thing that I can't stand with Giannis is when he's bringing the ball up, when he's stopping 10 feet away from the rim, trying to get a long layup or something of that nature. But when you get 40 back-to-back in games 2 and 3, I just need to shut my pie hole because he's doing his job. And then you have, you know, him going for what I think it was 30 plus the other night. As you said, though, he's a little winded at points in the game. And then sometimes his activity isn't really well in the game. Like, kind of giving up on defense a little bit on certain situations. You know, you don't like that stuff. But Giannis made up for everything with that huge block. And I think that could change the outcome of the series, Jeff. Because if he doesn't block that shot, Aiden puts them ahead at that point. And it seemed like Phoenix had the game. You know, you watch games, Jeff, where a team gets ahead just by a few points, but if they can keep being ahead by a few points throughout the whole game, they usually win. But No, Milwaukee overcame all of that, wound up getting themselves a monster win because they didn't quit. And I think that Phoenix, too much listening to Chris Paul and always looking at the ref, Jeff, seriously. Always looking at that ref and seeing if the ref is going to give you a certain call.
Well, I tell you who's been real bad at that, and I know it's the NBA. Every time they look at you like you touched them, you blew on them the wrong way. I mean, Crowder has been bad. I mean, Jesus. Listen, he used to be a Celtic a long time ago. I respect his game. He's cashing some big checks. He's had some big games. Stop with the flopping, please. Stop with, he looked like a soccer player. How many times he's flopping on the ground like a dead fish, getting poked in the eye. I mean, the thing that his hair in the back of him could kill someone if he turned around and snapped his neck quick enough, but he's getting the calls. I just, it's a series again where I talked about the sizzle or the steak. I mean, the story's been the Suns. And the forgotten team we talked about has been the Bucks and Giannis all along. It takes a few years to finally crack through. They've done it. I'm still pulling for them. It's anyone's series. I mean, I think Phoenix right now is -150, and the Bucks are +130 pops. It's anyone's series. And I talked about that first quarter. Phoenix getting out to that 10-2 run, and you just talked about it. You can't come back from that. And then the Bucks got hit in the face early. The Suns won the first half, and then the Bucks just kept hanging around, and then they finally pulled away late.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I've been seeing in literally all 4 games. The home court advantage helped the Suns out in games 1 and 2, but it seems like when it's time to get down and gritty and it's time to get dirty, it's the Bucks that are the better team at doing that. The Suns want everything kind of handed to them, and that's where they're running into the bad omen in this series as well too, with actually closing this thing out. They could have took game 4 if they didn't gripe so much. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. We got a game 5 and we got a game 6, so at least we got those 2 left over. So hey, the NBA is very happy on what they have here. And once again, this series, I'm gonna just let you guys know right now, this series will probably go 7 games. It has all the makings of going 7 games. I don't think that they're going to go without having that Friday night game 7 that they really want to have. You know what I mean? Because ratings aren't great for this series right now, and they got to get as many games out of you if the ratings aren't great.
Agreed.
And, that's bad for the NBA Finals because the NBA Finals, this is the second year in a row that just ratings just ain't the same. But we all know why the rating wasn't what they was supposed to be last year because some people got a little mouthy, but it is what it is at the end of the day, man. And we was in an election year as well too. So
I have to say too, the extension of these leagues, the extra days off. I mean, it's almost like the NFL now. I mean, we're talking pops. We're already halfway through July. All right. I mean, these guys are going to literally, and the guys that are playing in the Olympics now. What are they going to have? 4 weeks off, 3 weeks off before the preseason or whatever. So again, the season's too long. The ratings are down because it's the middle of the summer. People don't want to sit in a house at 9 o'clock. You're watching the game at 6 o'clock. I mean, there's guys on the golf course, guys out doing whatever. I mean, it's a tough sell. I think they got to look into that 72 game season. You can have the every other game. You don't need the load management. Yeah, you're losing 10 games of revenue, but you can make it up somewhere else.
Yeah. I'm with you, Jeff. NBA has a lot of decisions to make, and they ain't even had the draft yet.
James Book night, top 10.
All right. Hey, I love it. All right, so let's get into the NFL. Let's talk some DeShaun Watson news. Now, we all know that DeShaun's going to get his cases settled because none of these women want to go to actual court and actually have to prove that he did anything to him. You know what I mean? Since it's a Me Too movement and everything like that, all you got to do is just say something nice to you, and he's going to be in this situation with you. Because we have a lot, and I hate to say it like this, and I know I'm not going to get a lot of love from all the movement and everything like that, but we got a lot of gold diggers. Okay, this man's worth a lot of money, and you know what? Maybe you just wasn't satisfied with the $40 tip. Maybe you just want a little bit more. You know what I mean? And I say to myself that if you put yourself in a position where it's gonna get like that with somebody though on DeShaun's end, you got to become Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was the smartest athlete bachelor there ever has been. Okay, I know I'm jumping off a topic here, but I'm just throwing this out here for all my people that are up and coming stars and all these sports that I cover and all this stuff, because I know you're watching. Be like Derek Jeter. Okay. Derek Jeter used to have something you had to sign off on. If you came to his house, there was a certain time you had to leave the house. Blase, blase, blase. There were rules that went into it before he was going to do anything with you. And once you get signed off on a 10-page document, then pretty much everything has been solidified. So now we're not going to have to worry about you running back to, say that I did this and I did that, and then we don't have any evidence proving that he did that. You know what I mean?
Don't forget to leave your cell phone in the basket. You didn't take any cell phone.
Right, and the cell phone in the basket. Don't even bring your cell phone to that. Leave your cell phone in the car when he was dealing with Jeter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he didn't even play that. There's other athletes that did that, but they are a little bit messy. But Jeter was very straightforward about it. He knew he was a ladies' man. He didn't have to do all that. So DeShaun Watson, I think that I've been to Houston, and they are sports crazy in Houston. So when DeShaun Watson walks into your little business, you're gonna go crazy about it. You're gonna do whatever he asks you to do. You know what I mean? And I think that, the behavior, if true, it wasn't good behavior on his end, taking advantage of his position of power. But at the same time, though, if you are willing to do certain things and things don't work out for you at the end, then I don't know where you have the merit to try to ruin this man's whole career, unless he really, really, just left you with the sour taste in your mouth. And knowing DeShaun Watson and what he's been through and what he's come through and how much he loves his mother, I just can't really believe that he would be doing all that to these women at the end of the day, Jeff, to be honest with you. So, but let's talk about him going to Philly, but go ahead.
No, I agree. Listen, I was a big DeShaun fan at Clemson. Loved him at Houston. I love his game. I'm a big fantasy football player. I've had some great success with him. Again, I think it's one of these piling on stories. And the fact of the matter is that the defendants got one of those crooked lawyers that just starts going through the mail list and just starts pulling. If you keep piling on enough, sooner or later, you're just going to wave the white flag and say, all right, here's the deal. Here's the 20 names. Here's a check for $50,000 each. Now just, get the hell out of Dodge. And so I don't know all the facts. It doesn't sound like DeShaun's that type of guy. Kind of surprised that coach from Clemson, Debo, hasn't come out more to defend him on this, but it's been quiet. Again, this is not like the Michael Vick, and the dog situation, the Ray Rice with the video of him pulling his wife through the elevator. But as your topic here, I'm going to stick my neck out here. I'm just going to say this. I think the story was leaked with him going to Philly to drive up the price. I've said to you on this show for a long time, Carolina was the hot and horny team for him, and they were going to push all in for him. And we know Denver was doing the same for Aaron Rodgers. I think Philly likes Hurts. I really do. And if you bring DeShaun over there, I don't see that unless he is part of the trade. They're going to get Hurts and a boatload of picks for DeShaun Watson. Then I'm wrong. But I think if he becomes available in a trade, I'm sticking my neck out. I'm going with Carolina. I know they got Darnold, but I'm going Carolina, and I'll go Denver still second and Philly third.
I'm with you because they said that Philly has the package that could actually get him to come on over. But I'm thinking to myself that there's other teams out there that may have a little bit more. And if DeShaun doesn't move now, he'll be moving sometime during the mid-season. You know what I mean? Sometime during the season, he'll be moved. But yeah, I've came to the to also have came down to the last little bits and inklings that no, he will not be a part of this team anymore. I thought maybe a month or two ago that, man, they'll go ahead and work it out because, the owner then threw all these women out here. They paid all these women to act up a little bit. Just kidding. But it is a little suspect, though, too, at the same time, because I said about 2 weeks after he stated he wanted to leave, then all these cases started popping up. Hey, the Houston front office, come on.
Exactly.
State of Texas, we know how you feel about your football, okay?
If he didn't demand a trade, we wouldn't be hearing about this.
No, you wouldn't.
Nope.
So I think Philly's not a good fit for him.
No.
Philly can ruin this guy's career because Philly doesn't have enough to really support his type of game. He's already done enough with trying to stand upright for the Texans these last few years, and then he loses one of the best receivers of the decade in Hopkins. So, there's a lot of things that aren't in DeShaun Watson's favor. You would love to see DeShaun go somewhere like Denver, where they got a young up-and-coming team. They got some really good receivers and everything like that. And then they got the defense that can back them up.
Yeah, that defense has got a shorter window. I know they've brought some young guys in there, but, it's still got a shorter window. For me, Carolina just makes too much sense. He played at Clemson. They've got a new coach. They brought in Brady, the OC from LSU. They flipped the whole defense. You got CMC. You got some good young wide receivers. Too much sense for me, DeShaun at Carolina.
I like it. I like the idea of it. But I think Houston should have took advantage of that first round pick though this year. If they really wanted to make that move with Carolina, they could have had the 7th pick in the draft as well too, and they could have put more leverage towards their team and found themselves, maybe in the Justin Fields, sweepstakes. But they decided to have this lame duck coach act like he can bring DeShaun Watson back in because the color of his skin, and that didn't work out. NFL, we got a problem. Y'all guys got to stop doing things like that to think that you're going to be able to appease these players and stuff like that. So we could talk about this all day, but let's get into our preview. And then you know what? Me and Jeff both, I wish I could run the replay of last year on NFL Bet Exchange. Like, we were so Jeff's walking away too. That's good for him. Jeff got to walk away from me from this one because thing is, me and Jeff both sat up in here, and you would have thought we were from Dallas, Texas, our whole lives. The way that we were pining about the Dallas Cowboys being one of the more dominant teams in the NFL going into 2020, and how Dak was going to do this, that, and the third, and they should run away with the East. We knew the East was going to be a bad division, but we thought that the Dallas Cowboys would be able to get their 6 wins there and then go get 6 wins elsewhere and be one of the more dominant teams in the NFL. By the time we got to about week 7, we both gave up on the Cowboys. So pretty much this year, press restart for the Cowboys a little bit. They get back Dak, who should be healthy most of this year. They get back Zeke Elliott, who's supposed to be in tip-top shape once again. And they get back another very great group of wide receivers this year. And I would say that you want to say that they're led by the kid, but I'm going to say they're led by Mr. CeeDee Lamb this year. I think that he's going to be the most important receiver for Dak this year. And there it goes. And that offensive line, as long as that offensive line stays healthy, once again, I'm going to go out and put my neck out there for you, Dallas. But you know what? If you're struggling by week 5, I don't know. But Dallas, I'm going to put my neck out there for you again, Jerry's team, and say that you guys will go over 9.5. And I think that they actually do run away with the division this year, to be honest with you.
The one thing I can say, I had Dallas in the Super Bowl, but I had Pittsburgh. They started 11-0. That's my claim to fame last year.
Yeah.
Offensively, yes, Dak's back.
Always before the season started.
Zeke is reborn, hopefully. The O-line took some hits. They're getting healthier. C.D. Lamb will be the number one wide receiver in my eyes as well. Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup. Still Blake Jarwin at tight end. Their defense, again, if they had Washington's D with the Dallas offense, that's your Super Bowl champs. Unfortunately, they don't have the Washington D. And so the 9.5 to me looks like a trap again, because there's 17 games. You put a gun to my head. Yeah, I do think they get to 10 wins. Do I think they win the East? Yeah, I do. I think they do. Washington doesn't have a quarterback in my eyes. They have a hell of a defense, though. Again, this is all predicated on health. If Dak goes down again, I'm going to just say this. I'm worried about Zeke. You can show me as much workout tapes and shirt off and all that, and he's as good as that offensive line. When Emmett was at his peak, you or I could have ran through that offensive line. When Elliott came to his rookie year, you or I could have ran through that offensive line. But if the offensive line is banged up, Zeke is not Zeke. And then obviously with Andy Dalton there last year, Zeke wasn't Zeke. So it's their division to win. We were just talking about Philly there. No, not yet. And Washington, again, defense is going to carry them and keep them in a lot of games. But I'll roll with you, brother. I'll go over the 9.5. And no, on our show, the Bet Exchange and our review, I am not picking Dallas to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, I'm definitely not picking them Dallas to go to the Super Bowl. I don't even know if they make it out the round that they were playing, even if it's a home or visiting game. But I do know one thing, though. There's one team in the division, if the quarterback can somewhat manage and if Barkley can stay healthy, the Giants got a shot against just a little. It's a slim shot, but there's a lot of things that have to work for the Giants, because you know what? Their coach kind of won me over at the end of the year when he didn't really play the whole, coaching, I'm going to cater to my players game. He had a moment where he had to really chew out like an offensive line coach or something of that nature. And, they had to replace the offensive line coach. The offensive line got much better. And I think that he showed that he can be a great leader, their head coach. And since he's from the school of Belichick, you always have to have you always have to be a little paranoid about that, because they're going to figure out ways to win games, because every Belichick disciple, except for McDaniels, builds their team the same way. They try to get strong on defense early, and then they'll have the offense catch up later. And that's just been the Bill Parcells way of doing things for the last 40 some odd years. So I think that's where they loom a danger. But we'll talk more about that when we get into the Giants. This is about the Cowboys. So when I look at it, the Cowboys, once again, they got a guy with character issues from what they say in the draft, but he's a baller, kid from Penn State, middle linebacker. So people have to understand, with that middle linebacker, if he can be as significant as he was at Penn State with that team right there, they're going to be good. The only thing that worries me about the Cowboys is that secondary. That's it, and that's all, because they do have pass rushers. We know they got guys that can get to the ball. But the one thing about the Cowboys is that they have a lot of guys in the secondary that play as if they're Deion Sanders or somebody of that nature, and they're always scorched earth out there for some odd reason. There's bad teams that will beat up on the Cowboys, but their defense has to be get the necessary stops so Dak can have comfort in those tougher games. You know what I mean? Because there's games where the defense gives up 21 points in a blink, and it puts them into a lot of trouble later on in the night. You know what I mean? Then you have to have these miracle comebacks, and then, just like the Atlanta game, Atlanta looked like they were going to beat them by 100 points last year. But Atlanta got comfortable, and then they lost the game. But then let's take the Browns game, for instance. The Browns jumped all over them and didn't look back. You know what I mean? And it was nice. They had a nice little comeback there to kind of just make themselves look good there at the end. But you know what happened, Jeff? That was an absolute beatdown. So that's what the Cowboys had to keep themselves out of that. That's where you separate good from great. And even Jerry, their owner, knows is that their defense needs to be the key. They need to get those critical stops, and that's the only way that you can have somewhat of a dominant Cowboys team. To me, you'll just have an average Cowboys team next year if that defense doesn't show up the way that they're supposed to.
You were talking about Micah Parsons, and I was talking to one of the beat reporters from Dallas last week, and they have some question marks, meaning some seasoned longer-term veterans that they might keep for one more year. And then where does Parsons play? They're going to move him all around and make sure that he is on the field. And we're going to find out right away. Week 1, they're 6.5-point underdogs at Tampa. And I'm not saying, is there a Super Bowl hangover, Brady, yada, yada, whatever. We do know that the Bucs did start real slow last year. Their bye week came in the perfect spot, then the perfect storm, yada, yada, yada. I think it's a good spot for Dallas. Will they be able to establish the run? Is Dak 100% back? How will their secondary hold up to Tom and that wide receiving core? So we'll know right away. And 1 week doesn't make a season, but it's a good barometer to see where they are week 1.
Yes, sir. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna be right back with some baseball, and then after that, we're gonna talk some basketball as well too, and then we'll get into the pick six and my NBA bets for tomorrow night as well too. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and the Don of Cape Cod himself, Mr. Jeff Dawson. So we will be right back to you, and you guys stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
The Viget app, where social media meets sports betting. Get the latest line movements in all major sports. Track your daily bets, daily contests, the NFL over-under contest that pays out $10K in cash prizes. This is a cutting-edge app that helps betting be easy. Sign up with the reference code POPDBIC and you will be able to watch my daily show, The Primetime Angles, as a resource to building that bankroll. Viget is available in your Apple or Google Store on your iOS or Android. The social sports betting app, Viget.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
All right, we're back with the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live, and let's go ahead and jump into Blue Crew Daily. And it looks like the Dodgers have themselves what I would say an easy series, but it seems like none of these series are very easy for the Dodgers when they're going against these bad teams in the MLB right now. Pretty much from what I can see here, they're going against the Rockies, and actually the Rockies coming to this game playing some of their best baseball of the season. I've been keeping my eyes on the Rockies lately, Jeff, and they've been able to beat up on some really bad teams as of late and get themselves some good wins here, So I'm thinking to myself that the Dodgers have to be on lookout because the Dodgers didn't do that great when they were supposed to beat up on the Marlins last week. They lost 3 out of 4 in that situation. Then when Arizona came into town, Arizona made it life kind of difficult. They dominated. The Dodgers had a 22-run game Saturday night. Friday night, though, they lose to the Diamondbacks 5-2. Who cares? And then Sunday, they needed a miracle for Max Muncy to go ahead and win that game for them 7-4. and that messed up a lot of people's under bets and all that stuff in that game. And you're plus 1.5 on the Diamondbacks because all the sharps were Diamondbacks. Dodgers scored 22 runs last night, and you got to go with the Diamondbacks. I would never take that bet. The team just won by dropped 22 runs. They might want to get some more out. You know what I mean? Especially against a bad team like the Diamondbacks as well too. So pretty much when it comes down to it, the Dodgers are in the second half of the season. They know what time it is, game by game situation. The Giants are still in first place. It does not matter. I know a lot of people feel like the Giants are going to falter, but they have to understand one thing. You know what's motivating the Giants right now? They probably look into their locker room every day and see that and probably have put up a Dodger pennant in their locker room, 2020 champions. And that's exactly who they're trying to defeat here. People have to understand this is the oldest rivalry in the National League. The Giants and the Dodgers, they go all the way back to Brooklyn and Harlem. So pretty much this is holy war. And it's what I always have to get people to understand. When the Giants are motivated, they're not going to go away. Just know that. The Padres are the team that you have to start questioning because they have a lot of ego on that team. I don't care. I just said it, Jeff. I know everybody loves them because they're exciting. They do things their way and all that good stuff, but they got ego issues, though, over there as well, too. Tatis is great, but you're telling him you're trying to hand him the Hall of Fame at 22. Machado, you already know what you get out of Manny Machado. You know what I mean? Manny Machado played on a team that went to one playoff appearance throughout his whole career in Baltimore. We always got to remember who brought him here, Baltimore. And he still has that kind of, I'll just go about it the way that I go about it. I think that Manny's only worried about Manny stats, and that's it and that's all. He's not really worried about winning a world championship. That showed when he was on the Dodgers. So I think that people have to understand that the Giants and the Dodgers are going to go at it. And they got a series coming up Monday as well, too. So this is going to be fun this summer with looking at the Giants and Dodgers games nightly. The Padres had to put themselves back into the race, and it's getting tougher and tougher by the game because the Dodgers and Giants just keep eating up wins. What are you thinking?
Well, we talked Monday about this game, and it was 4-1, bottom of the eighth, and Dodgers got 3 to tie it, and then the walk-off, as you said, to kill all the Arizona plus 1.5. You know what? It's time, okay? It's time. We know what the Dodgers are made out of. Again, I think we talked on Monday. We'll say it again, that the MLB extended Bauer another 7 days. So I think the Dodgers front office will be playing this like this. We're assuming Bauer is done for the year. Therefore, let's go out and get another arm just to be safe. If Bauer is able to come back in September, October, God be it. But we're moving on without Bauer because I don't think he's coming back. You got to start winning series, what you guys are doing. You're 21 games over 500. I wouldn't be worrying about the Padres. I said the last couple of weeks, I think they're leaking. I don't think Snell can get them 5 or 6 consistent innings. Paddock's having a hard time right now.
Mm-hmm.
They got Darvish. It is what it is. You're the best team in the National League. You're the favorite. You're the defending champs. Now go play ball. No Acuna. The Mets are probably right now going to win the East, though we'll see there. The Brewers probably going to win the Central, and you're going to win the West with the Giants second. And so the Giants and Padres make the wild cards and move on.
Well, don't sleep on the Cincinnati Reds. They put 2 starters in the All-Star game. They're 3.5 games behind the Brewers right now. They looked great against the Brewers last weekend. They swept the Cubs. This team is starting to build some things right now with this Midland pitching staff and with these great hitters, especially when they get to Cincinnati and get to play in that hitter's paradise of a ballpark that they call it as well, too.
No, I agree.
I like Cincinnati.
They put on the run that the Nationals put on 3 weeks ago, and then the Nationals lose Schwarber. Trey Turner got nicked up. Now they could become sellers. Max could be available. We've talked about that. Since he put that run together, Castillo is pitching his ass off right now. And my problem is, again, they get guys on base. Can they get that hit to score the 2? Or are they going to leave them, nothing worse than having the Reds and then find out, you had 13 or 14, left on base. Their back end's a little a little squeaky, but no, I see what you're talking about. And they took out Hader. They beat him twice last weekend. Now they're playing each other. And it kind of surprised me because Pinnacle had Milwaukee open up as a favorite. Now, of course, all the money's coming in on Melee and Cincy today. We'll get to that. But no, I agree. Cincy's a team to watch out for. Just like the Phillies. The Phillies, if they address their back end and added an arm like a Marquez, the East is vulnerable. As much as DeGrom's pitching great, Stroman, and they got what's that?
Walker,
yeah. But offensively challenged. So it's the Dodgers, the Giants, the Padres. All three of those guys are in, and the rest go play ball.
All right, we'll see. In the Mets, though, Pete Alonso, he won it. So pretty much, Pete Alonso looking like he ready to, pretty much have a big second half of the season too.
We had them plus 500. We gave them out on our show and to our VIP guys. But again, lots of times that home run derby messes up with the hitter swing the second half. So it'll be interesting to see, like a Shohei Ohtani, to see, about Alonso. Though he's the defending champ, he'll be fine. But so what happens to some of the other guys?
We'll see. We will see. All right, let's jump into our first game. Hopefully, it'll be a game today. This is going to be the Red Sox at the Yankees. I am preparing for a doubleheader at some point this weekend as well, too, Jeff.
I think I saw August 17th. So no doubleheader.
No doubleheader. Okay. They said that they just want to okay, no problem with that. All right, Red Sox minus 115. Slight favor, Yankees minus 105, over under at 10. What are you seeing on your board right now?
I'm actually now seeing Yankees minus 118, Sox plus 108. Money line, 75% of the bets, all Red Sox, 72% of the money, all Red Sox. Yet what we have here is a reverse line movement on the Yankees, Rodriguez versus Montgomery. So technically would be a slight lean to the Yankees tonight on the reverse line movement.
And Twins-Tigers is postponed due to weather. Am I correct?
Twins-Tigers doubleheader is postponed. That is correct.
Is it weather or is it
weather?
Cleaning. Okay, cool. We got to know what the difference is because, they'll be postponing games a lot this summer.
Yes, it is weather.
Okay, Twins-Tigers is off the board, everybody. So if you were looking to bet Twins-Tigers today, you don't know what was happening. They're having one of those good midsummer storms over in Detroit right now. Or they playing? My bad. They're playing in Detroit.
Yep.
Yeah. So pretty much outdoor baseball parks. That's how it goes in the summertime in the Midwest. All right, but I like the Yankees tonight. The Yankees, I know they've been getting their butts whooped by Boston all year, but this is about the time for them to get themselves a good win against the Red Sox. We both know that. Pretty much this is a back and forth rivalry. So that's why I'm kind of pegging the Yankees to go ahead and win this game today. That's why I do like them a lot. Jordan Montgomery's on the mound. He doesn't have a great record, but he's pitched well. But Eduardo Rodriguez, his 6-5 record surprises me, but his strikeout to walk ratio is absolutely amazing. 104-21 over the year. And it seems like the only thing that's been wrong with him always is that he does give up a lot of runs. So that's why I really like Jordan Montgomery here to go ahead and take care of his business today, Jeff. And that's why I think I'm going to roll with the Yanks to go ahead and win this game. But actually, I like the over more than anything here as well, too.
They opened at I'm showing 9.5s right now, Pop. 61% of the bets, but 54% of the money coming in on the under. I got 9.5 juiced under, minus 104, 105, 110 at Westgate. So if your listeners here shop around and are looking for the over, you can now get that at 9.5.
All right. So I got mine as early at 4 a.m.
5 o'clock when you texted me. So
yeah. So all right, let's go ahead and move on to our next game. Our next game is going to be We were just talking about Padres and the Nats. They're going to be in Washington, and they had a very fun series last week where the Nats actually jumped out to a 6-0 lead very early in the game and wound up losing that game 9-8. So when you look at this one, you say to yourself, this one should be really good tonight because you have a Padres team coming off the break, and I think this is when they're going to really start, when things are really going to start hitting the fan for them. So I like the Nats tonight to keep this game close. I don't know if they necessarily win, but I think a spread bet would be very smart for anybody looking for some action in this game. And I would love to get that +1, and I love a +1.5 on the Nats tonight. I think that one works. It's about a -130 on the odds right now. I think that's some good value for you. I know it's not a plus value, but I think you're not spending too much on that. So what are your thoughts real quick on the Padres Nats tonight?
Line opened at 129 at Pinnacle, now currently 132. 64% of the bets, 75% of the money, all rolling in on the Padres. Line is and tickets moving in the right direction there. Your under-over opened at 9.5 under 115, now 9.5 over 115. 59% of the bets on the over, 70% of the money coming in on the under. So a little reverse line movement on the over 9.5. Two pitchers where, again, I don't think you'll see them in that sixth inning or further. A back end issues with Washington, as we do know there. So I think that the public seeing the Padres to, kind of bang one out here late. You're in that 6-4, 6-5 game right here, Pops.
I just think the way that the Nats been hitting the ball at home is going to get the Padres a lot of issues today because they've been killing that. They've been killing it at home lately with hits and run wise. And Soto is probably going to really be feeling himself after having such a good All-Star week and everything like that. So I do like the Nats here a lot, but I do think a lot of people are late money will come in on the Padres, and you'll get a better number on the Nats if you want to take them tonight as well, too, in my opinion.
I agree.
All right, let's move on to an interleague game. Rays at the Braves. The Rays coming here as a +110 doggy dog. Braves -135. We got an over/under 8.5. We got a good pitching matchup here. We got the former Ray going at his former team, Charlie Morton. And Charlie Morton has been decent this year. 3.64 ERA, 114 strikeouts over 33 walks. And then you got the old vet, Michael Wacha, Flocka Flame. Michael Wacha was, I remember it was almost 10 years ago. Michael Wacha was the cream of the crop in the St. Louis, prospect program, and he was pitched a very big playoff game early in his career as well too. But things, after a while, things start, surgeries come into play, things like that. So you're not really the same pitcher anymore, but you still have the mentality to go out there and be a big time pitcher. And that's why I think that you got to always tell yourself that you in a good spot when you got Michael Wacha there, but you're also in a good spot when you got Charlie Morton there as well too. But I think the Braves serve here at home tonight, and I think they get themselves a good win over the Rays, who have kind of been 50-50 as of late, but I don't think that won't deter them from anything. This is the most dangerous team in the American League right now. And I just think that they don't do that well in early play, and that's why I'm giving the Braves somewhat of a shot here tonight. And I like them tonight on the money line. I got them at -130.
This is a game that surprisingly, again, you can look at it two ways. The Tampa no respect card, and Morton has rolled into better form his last 3 or 4 starts. No Acuna. I just checked the lineup for Atlanta, and Jock Peterson, who they just got in a trade, is not in the lineup, so I don't think he's made it there yet. But currently, 53% of the bets are on the Rays, but 59% of the money is on Atlanta. Pinnacle had this game open up Atlanta -128 and currently -123. So we're showing some reverse line movement. Sharper, heavier money coming in on Tampa with Michael Wacha and the Rays tonight. So slight lean Tampa. Your under over opened at a flat. I'm sorry, 9 over minus 111. Currently 8.5 over minus 112. Your tickets, 54% of the bets and 52% of the money, all on the under. So you got the tickets and money rolling the right way there as well. So it looks like a Tampa, Pops, will go Tampa 5-3 winner. How's that sound?
Let's get it. Let's get it, man. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully I can get a 3-0 win from the Rays tonight. I mean, not from the Rays, but from the Braves tonight. We'll see how it goes. Face off. All right, our next game is a doozy. This one is between two of the better teams in the American League right now. Astros minus 150 coming into this one. White Sox plus 125. I was in Houston the week the White Sox visited, and they absolutely got slam danced by the Astros each and every time out in that series. They had a 4-game series, and it just was every game was ugly for the White Sox, and it kind of showed me that maybe they're not ready for the elite level of things. And when it comes to, getting to that World Series ring, maybe they're not that type of team yet. But I just think that probably was a moment in time during the season. You had some guys out at the time as well, too. You're coming fresh off of the All-Star break as well. So I expect the White Sox not to be a team laying down too much. And I also had to go off the fact that the Astros, when they beat up on teams in the series, they come back and they regress a little bit in the next series. Now, let me just give you a great example. They went and swept Baltimore, right, Jeff? And then Baltimore comes back to Houston 2 weeks later, and it's not even two of the games wasn't even close. And the Orioles get a sweep. And that's what I'm talking about, regression. But Houston plays so good on the road. They actually play better on the road than they do at home, in my opinion, because they know where the pressure's at, and they know that they're the most hated team in all of baseball for now. There'll be another team that they'll hate in next week. But for now, the Astros aren't everybody's cup of tea. And it killed me that the Astros didn't have that many guys at the All-Star game. I said, how do you have 4 guys from this team that's in last place, and then you have like one guy from the Astros, and he literally was like, I really don't want to play today. So, Jeff, what are you thinking about this game?
Well, the 4 Astros decided not to play. I think they didn't want to get razzed in the dugout, never mind at Coors Field. But I agree with you. We talked at length this week on some of our shows about how we like the price, and we think that the White Sox are positioned very well with Jimenez coming back in about a month and Roberts maybe 6 to 8 weeks, and they're pitching strong enough. But yet you look at this game here, and let me pull it up right now, Pops. Pinnacle opened them up at minus 120, now at 123, yet 52% of the bets, and it's a 50-50 split right now. So the sharper, heavier money's leaning Astros right now with McCullers over Cease. The under-over opened at 8.5, now is a flat 9. And the public is betting the under as well. 60% of the bets came in on the over, but 55% of the money coming in on the under. So for us currently, a sharper slight lean on the Astros and towards the under as well. And you can shop around. Your number you can get right now, let me see, 125 at the Westgate, 123 at Circa, and 127 at Caesars.
All right. And what am I looking at for this game? I'm looking at more of a situation where we'll probably go under here. We got a pitching matchup that's kind of a rematch from what I saw when I was at the Astros White Sox game. Dylan Cease got hit very early in that game, never really recovered from that either. But this is a new day. We're outside. We're on the south side. We're in Chicago. Things are different. So I think Dylan, sometimes you got to get kind of beat up by some guys before you get the, gist of things a little bit. So I think that the White Sox should be in good position today, but I really do like the under 9 Astros White Sox that I have here right now. So I think that one should work out a lot for bettors if they are looking for something just to key in on this game. Scoreboard watch and just hope for this game to finish up 8 to 0 or something like that. 5-2, something of that nature. But it should be a really good game tonight, and that's why I think the under should be a very key play for anybody that's betting this game tonight. All right, so we move on to our next game, and it's going to be an AL West divisional game between the Seattle Mariners and the LA Angels of Anaheim. Is that what they say now, Jeff? Angels of Anaheim. Well, if you live in LA, we just call them they're the Anaheim Angels. They're in Orange County. They're an hour away from LA. It makes no sense that you're calling yourself an LA team. So, but it is what it is. You have one of the quirkiest owners in all of baseball. You know what I mean? It's just doing Mr. Burns stuff, you know? My team, I'm going to name them this way. But all in all, though, this is my dog of the day right here. I think the Mariners absolutely come into the Big A tonight and get themselves a very good victory over this Angels team that's very middle of the road. And the Mariners are a team that's actually going places right now. They might not be going to the playoffs, but they are building something that can be consistent for the next decade or so with the players that they're bringing up. Really, really good players that are a part of this team. And, you know, it's very diverse in that dugout as well, too. It's one of the dugouts that the MLB wants to see the rest of the MLB have, but, you know, it is what it is. The Mariners scouting department has done a great job, but how long will you rebuild? You know what I mean? But the best part about this team is, to me, Jeff, is that they don't have any superstars. They don't have anybody that's the ego man in that group. Everybody looks out for everybody, and they just go out there and try to win games. That's it, and that's all. But hopefully they can go ahead and take care of their business tonight. It's always risky business dealing with the Mariners and the Angels, because the Angels seem to have kind of like a chokehold over this Mariners team this season as well, too. What are your thoughts on this game?
You know, when I see movement like this, I think of a correction, an overnight correction. And with the All-Star break, with the COVID issues, I'm telling you, the market right now is like, I don't know if it's the casinos or what here, but this is a good, for instance, Pinnacle had LA opening up minus 163. Now they're currently at 143. So there's either an overnight correction or there's some real sharp, heavy money moving in on Seattle and Flex. And 57% of the bets are on Seattle, but 57% of the money is coming in on the Angels. So some sharp, heavy reverse line movement, sharper, heavier money coming in on Seattle. So definitely in our eyes, what you talked about, your dog of the day, we would definitely be leaning Seattle and Flex. And you can get them plus 131 right now at Circa, or 132 at Westgate. And that's about it for those numbers. Your under over. Opened at 8.5, now is 9 under, minus 117. 60% of the, actually, let me back that up there. Where are we? 66% of the bets on the over, but 71% of the money on the under. And so the ticket and the juice is moving the right way right now at 9 under, minus 115.
And whoop, there it is. All right, so it should be a good one here at the Big A tonight. Hopefully we can get that dog of the day home, and we'll see where we go from there. All right, we end up in Arizona, and we got the Diamondbacks and the Cubs. And I'm thinking to myself today that the Cubs should come in here with a fresh mind and ready to win some baseball games after the just terrible last 3 weeks they had before the All-Star break. And I think that they get a fresh start against a bad team. And I think that they go ahead and get themselves a big win tonight. I like them a lot. I'm taking them on the spread tonight, and you get even money on that bad boy tonight as well, too. Even though I think you should be getting a little bit more plus money on them tonight, I'll take the even money on them. And I think that the Cubs take care of their business, and they absolutely crush on the Diamondbacks. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
I agree mentally. And the other thing that's nervous on my part here is the fact that the Cubs have made it clear that they're sellers. They trade Jock Peterson yesterday to Atlanta. Kimbrel and Bryant are probably the next two to move. Good pitching matchup, Hendricks versus Bumgardner. Pinnacle had the Cubs open at 135, now currently 149. Luke Voigt, as we speak, has now just been added to the injured list for the Yankees. So I don't know what the injury is unless it's COVID as well. But getting back to these numbers, 70% of the bets are on the Cubs. 61% of the money is on Arizona, yet the line has moved 13 cents towards the Cubs. I, too, would like the Cubs here, first 5. If the price is too high, take them minus the half run. You can get that almost at a pick 'em. I, too, like them minus the run and a half if you were looking for the even money again. I'm seeing this will probably go to probably 150, 153 by first pitch. Your under-over opened at 9 over 118, now 9.5 under 113. Actually, on your Vegas strip pops, you can still get 9 over minus 125 at Westgate and over minus 120 at Circa. And the bets are, let me see here, 51% of the bets on the under, 80% of the money on the under as well. So they're seeing under here tonight here, Pops.
All right. And it's Arizona, so you never know. And I think it's 120 today. So, it's a little hot. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because air conditioner can't, in Phoenix, I think they keep the air conditioner on your house on 50 because it gets really hot in that place. They ain't looking for me to go out there at the end of the month, man. All right. So with that, we will be back. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show. When we get back, we're going to talk the NBA Finals Game 5, and we'll go over the bets that I have in place for that. And then we got the MLB PrimeTime PK6 as well, too, talking tickets. So you guys stay tuned, and we will be right back to you. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Anglers Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and the Don of Cape Cod, Jeff Dawson.
Daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are back with the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Anglers Live. Let's go ahead and jump into it, Jeff. We got Game 5 of the NBA Finals coming up tomorrow night, Saturday night, NBA Saturday night. ABC is going to be, loving that, boogieing on that. But pretty much, and I think they're going to be having their final games with Maria Taylor as well, too, who's about to get paid by ABC. Well, I can't wait to see her on the Notre Dame games next year. So pretty much we have the Bucks coming into Phoenix where they have not played well at all. They'll get out to a little lead, and then here comes Phoenix up 10, and then it's all she wrote. But the series has changed now, Jeff. We're in a situation where both sides feel the pressure. And I think with the game that we had the other night, we're going point for point literally in that game. This game, I think the point-for-point situation will continue. I don't think Chris Paul is going to be that effective in this game because he has a problem with his wrist right now. Like the same problem we had that kept him out for many, many games in his NBA career. Then you have the other factors playing into, so the Buck side as well, too. Will they get some effort from their bench, a better effort from their bench on the road? They weren't good on the road. And I think that pretty much they have to figure out who their X factor is going to be that's not named Middleton, not named Giannis, and not named Drew Holiday. So I expect to have a big game from Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, for them to even think about being in the ballpark for this game. Now, to me, Phoenix needs to start playing off their actual 1-2 tandem, and that's going to be Aiden and Booker. I think that if they start playing more of a pick and roll game with those two and throw something at Milwaukee that they haven't seen yet, I think that this could work out very well for Phoenix if they want to explore that. But if they want to keep putting the ball in Chris Paul's hands to go ahead and overthink things and then have team turnovers at key moments, then go ahead and keep doing that. But I think that they need to utilize Mikal Bridges, and Cam Johnson got a lot of love in his last game as well too, because he was able to find his own shots. He played great defense as well too, and his confidence is building by the game as well too. So those two need to play a key factor into this. They need to pick up the slack a little bit, in my opinion, when with Chris Paul struggling and everything like that. And then they got to have Crowder be big as well too. And I think Campaign is doing a damn good job as the backup point guard, and he needs to probably get some more minutes as well too. But all in all, to be honest with you, I know this is not going to be a popular opinion at all, but I think the Bucks go in there and get the win, and finally we have a dog win in the finals. We got to have a dog win a game in the finals, and I think it happens tomorrow in Milwaukee, in Phoenix.
Looking at these numbers as you were talking again, Pinnacle opened it at 218.5 on the under/over, -3.5. Now they're at 218 and 3.5, but all on your Vegas strips, they're flat fours. I see a 218, a 219, and a 218.5. Okay, so the initial thoughts is this is Pinnacle saying 111, 107. Okay, and I think before last night, Phoenix was averaging right around that 109 spot. The public sees their darlings now 2-2. When they left Phoenix, they were up 2-0. So the public sees them, as you just said, there's no way they're losing 3 in a row. And most people think that, the Bucks can't win 3 in a row. If I told you I think the Bucks win in 6, then I think that they also win game 5, and then they end this in game 6. And I'm with you on this one. I'm not buying it. If I was to tell anyone they were looking for Phoenix on Saturday night, I would say to jump on them maybe first quarter, first half. Look for them to get rejuvenated with the crowd. They've been amazing at home. Crowder draining threes, Booker draining threes, the real CP3, Aiden, and the list is endless. So I would jump on them that way. But I think the Bucks go in and steal this one myself. I like the Bucks. I think if you wait till tip-off, you'll probably get that extra half point at 4.5. But I'd also sprinkle something in on the money line as well. A little beer and pizza money, as we like to say, grabbing them around plus 145, maybe by tip-off even plus 150.
Man, I'm thinking we might get a 160 because the way that these people are so gung-ho with Phoenix that they're going to think it's an absolute, win. And I think that what happens here is that a lot of late money will come in on Phoenix. I would say that the way that the spread line worked early is the Bucks, but late it should be the Suns. But I think that's going to be a mistake by a lot because the thing is, I just think the Bucks have figured out some things as well too with that spread out offense as well of Phoenix, and I think that their defense hasn't gotten enough credit over the last 2 games as well too. And if they can keep that defense intensity and that defensive spirit, everything should work out for the Bucks winning this game Saturday night.
I agree, 100% agree.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into my bets for the NBA. I'm taking the Bucks money line plus 145. Then we're going to do the over 106.5 for the first half in this game. I got the Bucks going over 107.5 team total on Saturday night. I got Giannis dropping 30, 35 or better Saturday night. And I have Chris Paul once again struggling Saturday night, and he goes under 21.5 points. Jeff, what are your thoughts on this group?
Like the Bucks money line, obviously plus the 145. I would think, in Phoenix, they tend to run up the score, which defense are you going to get from the Bucks? The one that wants to try to outscore Phoenix, or the one that wants to play some defense? So again, I would lean slightly to that over. I like the Bucks and the team total over. The Giannis over 34.5. I mean, the guy's been just putting up 40-40. I think Middleton might have a lesser effect. I expect more from Holiday, so I could see that right around the number. And I actually think it will be a well-rounded effort from Phoenix. And, between all three of them, I think they'll be feeding off of each other. So I think Paul has a nice bounce back, and I think he'll be in that 18, 19, 20 range. So you'll have a nice sweat on that one for sure, Pops.
All right, so that's my NBA Finals bets for tomorrow night. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the primetime pick 6, and we have ourselves a good little group here. We have the over 10 with the Red Sox and the Yanks, the plus 1.5 with the Nats. We got the Braves money line minus 130, under 9 with the Astros and the White Sox, and the minus 1.5 with the Cubs. And then we got the Mariners, the dog of the day, the dog in me, plus 145. So,
we talked at length here, and again, I always say this as we're closing this out, Pops. Always love that hashtag. Single what you like. You got a nice 50 to 1 price here. Geez, a $20 bill will net you a dime. You'll have one little band there. I like your Red Sox Yanks over. Your Nats plus 1.5 is going to get interesting late. You just hope that Nats bullpen doesn't come in to effect. The Braves are actually a contrarian side right now. There was some sharper money coming in on the Rays. We talked about Astros, White Sox. I do think your Cubbies is a nice little steal there as well. And the Mariners dog of the day, 100% on that one, Pops, as well.
All right. So you guys already know what time it is, man. We spent a lot of time. We went a little over, but that's good because we got to get you your information, get you right. Make sure that you're not over betting the Cowboys in the book this year as well, too. Because Cowboy fans, they bet with their heart.
Hell yeah.
They'll bet with their heart all day. So, we're trying to get you to avoid that. So, all in all, Jeff, I thank you so much for coming in today. Once again, the beautiful Bellagio sitting behind him as well, too. You guys, if you guys get your cake up, Jeff, as long as you guys are listening to me and Jeff, you can stay at that hotel every time you're in Vegas. So, just keep listening. So, pretty much I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. It's been a great week. I know we only did 3 shows this week, but this is kind of like a capper's off week in a sense as well, too. This is our vacation week because baseball was off for 4 days, and, pretty much everybody else obliged to that as well, too, Jeff. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, but we'll be back Monday, me and Jeff both, to give you guys to go over the weekend and give you guys what to expect for the week as well, too. And we'll be talking about the Denver the Denver Broncos are going to be a topic of discussion come Sunday as well, too. So, Jeff, any final thoughts?
Always blessed, honored. It's been a great 2 shows for me this week with you. New listeners, people that don't follow me, just go to Twitter at EC Sports Invest. Follow me. I'll follow you right back. Any questions, you can send me an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. Check out our website at www.eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. Always keeping up with the market, where the public's going. We try to fade them, stay on the contrarian side. We, as Pops, always bet with your head, not your heart. It's a marathon. So if you don't have a new pair of sneakers, go get yourself a pair of Nikes and jump on board.
Yes, that's what it is, big guys. So pretty much thank you guys so much once again. As I always say, Jeff already said it, but if you got a hunch, bet a bunch. And the movement is moving. So, hey, it can't get any better than that. So I'll be back Monday. Jeff will be back Monday with me as well, too, for this show tomorrow. Don't miss the Saturday, the day 2 of Del Mar. We already have the horsing around up right now as well, too, for opening day 10 race card as well, too. So you guys check that on out if you're looking for some winners. I know I'm about to be posted on the couch wherever, getting my Del Mar on real quick, maybe getting my adult beverages acting like I'm there or something like that. So it's going to be fun. You guys make sure to tune in for that all weekend as well, too. Get you guys horse bets and things like that. And if you're signed up with my partner Stable Duel. You guys can go ahead and create your stables and all that good stuff, and hopefully you'll make some money. And like I said before, you make some money, let me know. All right, so I'm done. I'm through. It's been a great week. We'll be back Monday. You guys be good. We'll see you then, okay? All right. So with that, this is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production